Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports on this special edition. My birthday, special edition, and so anybody and everybody could jump in the house tonight because it's my birthday. We got another coach jumping in the house tonight as well. Coach Andy, good evening.
How you doing? Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Uncle Bashir, meet Coach Andy. Coach Andy, meet Uncle Bashir.
How do you do, sir? Yeah, good to meet you too. God bless.
Coach Andy, I've known for a while. A lovely man, really good boxing trainer, very under the radar. Met him on a couple of occasions in the UK. Really good trainer, and like the way he trains his fighters. So, Uncle Bashir. Obviously, you know who Uncle Bashir is, Andy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great to have you both in a room together.
So how old are you today? 21?
Yeah. How did you guess?
I'm just having a look. You're so clean shaven, and look at you, man.
Yeah, I wasn't looking so good a few days ago. I had all grey hair, all hair, and it was a bit of a mess.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah, when you get busy and you're in it and you're coaching all the time. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm 46 today.
46. God bless you. You're 10 years behind me.
10 years behind you. Well, I'm in no rush to catch up, Andy. It's okay.
No, don't. You take your time. There's no rush.
I'm going to try. So, I thought today would be great. My birthday, and to have some people in the room that I trust and love dearly. In the sport of boxing, and I can talk to Uncle Bashir. Can you hear me?
No, we can't.
Can you hear me? All right, come out and come back in. You can't hear me. Wow. No. Let me text him and tell him. Go out and come back in. Yeah, he's going to come back. So how's it been with you, Andy?
Everything's good. We're getting the amateurs back up and running for September. I've got a new female coach called Michelle Nelson, who's joined the ranks. She's a level 2 amateur coach, and she's a professional boxing coach. So she helps me in the corners now. I've got another one of my coaches who's just applied for his pro license, Dean. So he's going to be number 3 in the corner. Okay. Mr. Jamie Smith is fighting for the Southern Area title on Saturday, the 23rd of July. Against Daniel Mendes, his first 10-rounder. So it's his last fight he done really well. Lewis is on fire, doing so well. They're 2 really hard-working boys. Really proud of them both.
Uncle, can you hear us?
Yes.
Fantastic.
That's better.
So, okay. Take us back to the cruiserweight tournament, and with Jamie. He was doing really well, but that guy at the end was slippery as hell.
Yeah, the thing with Zorro is I don't think Jamie pushed him hard enough. He the unfortunate thing with the Boxer series is it's a 3 rounds, 3 times, and Jamie's been a pro now 4 years.
Yeah.
So we haven't trained to stop, start. So he's like the camp before the Boxer. We train that way, but the lights got to him, the TV cameras, and he just went out. It was an exciting fight, but it wasn't a coach's fight. It was a fan's fight. You know, his hands were down. He was taking unnecessary shots. His movement, after shots wasn't there. His head movement wasn't quite there. He took the bloke out in the second round. The first fight he had. He stopped Faye in the second round. Then the second fight he had, he went up against Zorro, who was the eventual winner. Zorro, he's a counter puncher, and Jamie went at his pace. Jamie fought at his pace, and Jamie should have really probably put the pressure on, pushed him onto the back foot. Zorro's all right, he counters a lot, and he likes coming forward, but when he gets pushed back, he's a slightly different character. But yeah, Jamie didn't test him.
So, Uncle, if you've missed it, we're just talking about a recent tournament that was on Sky Boxer, and it's like a cruiserweight, and it's like a 3 rounds, and about how many people take part in the tournament?
There was eight people. Yeah, so it's a knockout tournament.
And their fight for at the end is to get a contract with Sky.
And £40,000. And £40,000 a win. Yeah, and then and
£40,000.
£40,000. How much is that in America? Maybe about $50,000.
$55, yeah,
$55, yeah, about that.
So sort of like the Cedric Kushner heavyweight tournament.
Yes.
The Contender, like the Contender.
Oh yeah, because Cedric Kushner had a heavyweight tournament years ago.
Yes.
25, 30 years ago, where he had 8 heavyweights.
Yes.
And yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it was an American format.
100,000.
Wow.
It's heavyweights. It's heavyweights. Yeah. So they're the big guys. So they can draw. I think they can draw a bit more with those heavyweights.
Yeah, it was a packed house that night in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You know.
So
and I had the dog horse that won the tournament.
Who was that? Wow.
Huh?
You had the dog horse. Winner.
I had the dog horse. The guy that I had that won the tournament was the only guy in the tournament that was a Don King fighter. Everybody else was signed with Cedric Kushner. And Don King, and my guy was the only guy that was signed with Don King. Everybody else on that card had a contract with Cedric Kushner.
Wow.
And my guy was the dark horse, and he had been knocked out by the first guy he beat in the tournament.
Wow. Look at that.
He had been KO'd in 3 or 4 rounds by the first guy that he fought against the tournament, and he nearly knocked him out.
Wow.
You know, and we beat him. So he was the dark horse in that tournament. You know,
wow.
And he came around, and in his last fight he had was a tough fight with versus Tony Thompson, and he beat Tony Thompson to win the 100,000. So it was to win the 100,000. He beat Tony Thompson.
What do you think was key to him winning that tournament, in your opinion?
Focus. He was just really focused that night.
Okay.
He was really focused. That he was really focused, and he got the least amount of rest between fights out of all of the fighters that was there. He got the least amount of time.
That probably helped him.
Yeah,
that probably
helped him.
Yeah, probably helped him. Because I think sometimes when you're static for too long, you know, if you have a 3-rounder fight and then you're static for 45 minutes, then it's getting your brain and your body and everything back into motion again. I would have preferred Jamie to have shorter intervals.
Wow, we talked about this before, and that was my fear when he was in that tournament. I thought, you know what, the way these if you're not put in at the right time and you've got the bad luck of the draw, it works against you. So yeah, absolutely. Coach Chris, welcome to you in the house as well, please. I think you might be on mute, Coach Chris.
Hey, what's going on, man? Hold on, my son and wife just came home at the same time I logged on. Just give me 4 or 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
No worries. So I want to throw something out of both coaches here. There's a fight that's been made between Connor BENN and Chris EUBANK Jr. When I first heard about the fight, Connor BENN, naturally a welterweight, EUBANK Jr.'s fought as high as super middleweight. I first thought this fight was dangerous for Connor because he was going up in weight to fight a guy who's fought as high as super middleweight. Then, now thinking about it, the fight is more dangerous for Chris EUBANK Jr. because now he's having to pull himself down to catch weight. So he's 32 years old, put himself down to fight a light middleweight at 156 pounds. So for a guy that, when you see him weigh in, he's got no fat in him whatsoever. He's in tremendous shape every time you see him fight. At 32, bringing himself down 4 pounds. How dangerous is that for a fighter? And can he still do it? I'll throw that over to you first, Uncle Bashir.
You know, I'm not one to put a lot of emphasis on weight. I think if an individual has the skill, he belongs in the ring with whatever the weight.
Okay.
I mean, most of the guys not 6'5" and other guys 5'4".
Yeah.
Then there's a natural disadvantage. But if the guys is at comparable weights, comparable heights, and comparable reaches, I think it could be a good fight. Yeah, I know that. I thought the same thing. I thought EUBANK is. I think he's as high as 168, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And he fought guys like George Groves, physically big and strong, powerful, super middleweights.
You know, so if they're gonna make the fight is gonna be at 156.
Yes.
The only thing I don't like about this modern stuff is I don't like that. I don't like it. I didn't like it initially. This weight thing where you can weigh in 15 hours before a big fight.
Yeah.
I don't like it. The real test in boxing is being able to make the weight that morning, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and being able to fight at 8 o'clock that night. That's a real test. That's a real challenge, to make that weight and not being able to eat yourself back up to 25, 30 pounds over the weight. But when you have all of that time to weigh in a day, or afternoon, and then you don't have to fight until the next night, there's a lot of time to put on excess baggage, and sometimes it helps the boxer and sometimes it hurts the boxer. So I think that the best thing is, if I have my way, I would mandate, like they do in Pennsylvania, you got to weigh in the same day and you got to come in the ring and box.
Right.
This new generation, they come, well, you lose too much fluid on. Who said you lose too much fluid on the brain and you lose this, you lose that. We're not playing day school here. This is boxing.
Mm-hmm.
This is boxing. It's a gladiator sport. This ain't no daycare center. So if boxing is designed to box, and you know what? I think just as many people been hurt with this new attitude. I think just as many people have been hurt. In fact, I think maybe more people got injured.
More people have been hurt.
More people have been hurt because they baby in the fighters. But when you have to train and prepare the old school way, that's what it's going to be.
So the rehydration clause, I understand there's only so much he can rehydrate back to Chris EUBANK Jr.
The U.S. the IBF says that they weigh you the very next morning before a fight.
Right.
And I think they weigh you about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And they say that you cannot weigh more than 10 pounds over your weight when you weigh in.
Okay.
I think that's a good thing because it restricts them from going up to 25 pounds over the weight.
Right.
You get guys that's weighing at 147 at weigh-in, and then the night of the fight, they coming in 25, 30 pounds over the prescribed weight.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, that's Canelo weight.
Good. It's not good. It's not helping boxing. It's not a good look for boxing.
Okay.
You supposed to be 147 weighing in at welterweight, and then you come in the night of the fight at super middleweight.
Mm.
And the fight is billed as a welterweight fight.
Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot.
So
Coach Andy,
my thinking is that you got to make the boxers more responsible for the activities in the ring and outside of the ring. You got to make them more responsible. You know, it's like a free fall. You can do practically everything and get away with it in boxing. You know, I saw an article today that Jimmy Young got robbed in the Muhammad Ali fight.
Right.
And I was there. I was present at that fight in Landover, Maryland, many, many years ago. And I thought that Young was on his way to outpointing Ali. But when Ali got ready to put it on Young, Young kept ducking his head outside the rope, and they called it a knockdown every time he did it. I think he did it maybe 3 times.
Wow.
I think he did it 2, maybe 3 times. I got to go back and watch the fight, but I think it was maybe 2. I know it was 2 times. It may have been 3 times, and every time he did that, the ref scored it as a knockdown. So how could you win the fight by ducking your head out the rope? I said, Jimmy did that to himself. He might have won the fight, but he blew it by ducking his head out the rope. So you got to make the boxer responsible for their own mistakes.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Uncle. Andy, your thoughts?
I can only say. So one thing for me is I don't worry about, and I don't mean disrespect to anybody in the boxing world. I focus on my boxers. I don't follow any patterns of what anybody else do. All of my boxers are not allowed to be over 3 kilos over their fighting weight. If they are, they don't fight. Simple as that. And if they want to break the rules and fight, then they're out on their own. So that's what I do. So, you know, all my boys are governed that way. So when we go into camp, to lose 3 kilos is really easy.
Fantastic. Just join us in the room now. We have Tony Cessay, another good brother. Coach, maybe Coach Andy and Tony have met before. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we have.
Good.
Yes, Tony.
Yes. How are you?
And
all good, man.
And
That's
Uncle
good.
Bashir,
I've
please
met
meet
you.
Tony Cessay.
Hello.
You've met before, I'm sure.
Yes, I've met many times.
Okay, so we're just talking about the weight, EUBANK Jr. and Connor BENN. So Andy was talking about his fighters and how he managed his fighters' weight. Talk to me about this situation with EUBANK and BENN in terms of the weight and the catch weight and who that favors more. And in terms of Chris EUBANK Jr., he's fighter's always in good shape. And if you look at him on the scales, he doesn't look like he's got an inch of fat on him. So how they're going to pull him down 4 pounds, I don't know. But you're the trainers, you would know. So Coach Andy, let me know.
Personally, I think Chris EUBANK, he trains really hard, and I think he's an all-round athlete all year round. Of course, they can get the weight off, you know, looking at his diet, and, you know, they can cut the weight down. They can do it in a dangerous way, or they can do it in a sensible way. I think it could be done, but I think Chris is, I think he's on the line, and I don't think he's got much more to lose. You know, I think Connor's going to come up a lot. I think Connor will come up a lot easier. He'll have less struggles. But personally, I think, it's going to be a struggle for Chris.
I don't even think he'll fight the same way because the durability, the way his engine works, all those things that normally work in his favor.
Everything gets affected. You know, if you change weight categories, everything will get affected.
Wow.
That weight loss is a monster, you know. It's a monster. Like from what I've seen of EUBANK, like you said, he does not have a lot more that he can take on. You know, and that's why I think that this catch weight stuff is nonsense. The guys are in 2 different weight classes, you know, and you try to make a fight, so you're asking the guy to take a risk.
It's not good.
You know, and he's walking around at least in pounds, at least he's walking around at least
168, 168 pounds?
170.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
You know?
Wow.
And then you try to come back to 156 pounds, you know.
And at 32 years old, not 25, 32 years old. I mean, in that division, that's pretty old, is it not?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Tony, you would know those both gentlemen very well. Your thoughts on this fight in terms of for Chris and for Connor?
Yeah, just like Mr. Bashir said, you know, it's madness. You know, when I saw it, I thought this catch weight thing. You know, if it would have been a weight that suited a EUBANK, and you know, it would have been negative for, you know, Ben. But this is positive for Ben. If they're telling him to come down in weight, listen, you can lose 1 kilo. 1 kilo, and that would mess you up in the fight. You know, so they're expecting this guy to lose so many, you know, nearly, you know, a stone. It's just mad. And then fight at the same time. You know, they can't, you know, weigh in on that the day before and then bring it all up again and then just go and fight like years ago. This is different now, these catch weights. So it's gonna mess up a lot of people. You know, I'm talking about form, the way they box. They're not gonna box the way they usually box, you know, and they're gonna get very tired quickly. And you know, this suits Connor. It really does, you know, and he's strong. When you look at the heights and that, Connor's grown, you know, he's grown a bit. He used to be short and, you know, but now he's grown. EUBANK has got nothing on him, like Mr. Bashir said. There's nothing on him. So if he's took off more, wow, it could be very, you know, unhealthy. It could be scary. It could, you know, I'm telling you.
I could go back years ago, many years ago. You know, and I'm going back to the late 50s. I think I had my first amateur bouts, 59. Yeah, about 59 or 1960 was my first amateur bout. And somewhere between 59 and 60, 61, we goes to a tournament. And I remember sitting inside of it was a storefront. And I remember looking at the lady on a bus. And I was sitting there, and the lady was drinking some water. And I was looking at her through the glass, and I was like saying, you know, what inspired me to get inside boxing? I should be drinking that damn water that she's drinking. And I was looking at the lady, and the lady glanced at me quick, and I must have been looking at her in a manner like I was going to attack her, because when she looked at me, she quickly turned her head and looked straight ahead. She never looked back at me, because I was looking at her, thinking about how good that water was, you know, trying to make the weight. You know, I wanted to get that. I want that water was looked like a steak sandwich to me. I wanted to get that water, and I wanted to drink, and I was just fantasizing how I could drink the water, how cold it might have been. I was just fantasizing about water, trying to make. And I was a young guy, but I was thinking about trying to make the weight. It's not no fun. It's not fun, and it's not an easy thing. People say in their mind, "Oh, I can do it," but it's not. It's easier said than done.
Oh, definitely. It's hard.
Oscar De La Hoya, when he went and fought Manny Pacquiao, when they drained Oscar right down, Oscar was an idiot. He thought he could make 142 pounds, and the last fight was a middleweight fighting Hopkins, and he came back down to not even fight 147, it was 143 to try and make catchweight to fight Pacquiao. And there was nothing on Oscar De La Hoya that night.
No.
So
no, that's why Manny bent him over. You know?
It's a shocker.
Boy needs a big fight, man.
Shocker. Good evening, Coach Chris.
Man, good evening, bro. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you very much.
Wife says happy birthday too, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on this fight being made between EUBANK and Ben, mainly because of the rivalry between the two fathers, two legendary fighters? Now the two sons are at it, and they're trying to make this fight happen. One's a welterweight, one's a middleweight, super middleweight. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a waste of time. I don't know what they're doing it for. It's early for it. There's fights for Chris Eubank at middleweight.
Yep.
There's fights for Connor BENN at welterweight. So why are they going to fight each other at some catchweight now?
For money? For money?
Yeah, money, yeah.
But it's still early.
For money?
It's dangerous money.
It's all about money.
Well, Hearn needs it because he can't put on a show, man. He's getting killed. So he's trying to keep relevant because he's getting into that Lou DiBella territory right now, man. At least here. I mean, he's never really surpassed Lou DiBella here, actually.
Well, I think that a lot of this here stuff, a lot of this responsibility have to fall on the people. A lot of the responsibility has to lie with the people that's the managers and the promoters and the people most trusted around the boxers. That's why there's error and mistakes being made, because everybody is looking at the dollar. And then if the boxer says, I can do it, nobody tries to talk the boxer out of it. And then they go on with it. Nobody says, look, you're making a mistake. Look, just don't do this here. Look, don't do this. It's going to hurt your body. In the long run, it's going to hurt your body to get down. Look, I tried to make the weight. All right, I've tried to make weight before. I did it. Vlad Sarenko and I were in Bukovel, the high point in Ukraine, and one of the guys and myself, we got into a tit for tat. He says, at the time I was about 237, and somehow it got down to a tug of war. He said, look, you can't make the. I said, look, I can make 205 pounds. He said, when? So I said, when? So he says, when? I said, I can make 205 pounds by the time we ready to leave this camp, which was about 2.5 weeks.
Now
so he says, okay, I'll bet you. I said, yeah, we'll bet. Let's bet. He said, in 2.5 weeks, you got to come in at 205 pounds. I was 237. All right, we'll move 3 pounds off because of fluids. Okay, so I said, okay, we bet. He said, matter of fact, you said 2.5 weeks you're gonna make the weight. He said, check this out. You could have 2.5 years and you won't make the weight.
Yeah, you're
all right.
You're not a young guy.
And I started working. I went to work on it. I started knocking the pounds off. I was weighing myself. I started weighing myself, and I was taking the pounds off. I got to 225. I got to 223. And then coming down the stretch, the last 3 days, I got to 218. Then we got the 2 days, and I got the 214. And I said, okay, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the steamer. I went to the steam room. I went to the steam room. And I came out of the steam room.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I came out of the steam room. This is the day before the fight now. I came out of the steam room that night at 209. 4 pounds over that 205 pounds. And man,
Well,
I
I
had
mean,
to walk up the stairs. It wasn't no elevator. We were staying in log cabins, and I had to walk up the stairs. And it took me almost an hour to walk from the bottom stairs to the top stairs. Because I take 2 steps and I hold on to the banister. I take 2 steps, I hold on to the banister. Then I took a long hold on for about 15 minutes, and I made 3 more steps. You know, it took me forever to get up there. I went in the room, and I had some pomegranate. And I said, man, I ain't gonna make this weight. You know, because I was starving. I felt like I was on my last leg. I said, man, I'm gonna eat this pomegranate. It was like life and death. I ate the pomegranate, you know. And that morning they came knocking. It took me back inside the weight room, and I was 211.
Wow.
I said, man, I don't care. You can have the money. Where's the food? I go back to Eddie Mustafa fighting Michael Spinks. That morning, Eddie Mustafa was over the weight. He was over the weight fighting Michael Spinks. And he's over the weight by 5 or 6 pounds. And I remember the WBC champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad, getting Eddie, who was the WBA light heavyweight. Matthew Saad was the WBC light heavyweight. There was only 2 sanctioning bodies in them days. And the WBA was Eddie Mustafa, and the WBC was Matthew Saad Muhammad. And Saad went and got in Eddie's ear and said, look, you got to do this. You got to do this. Get up. And they start running the stairs. Making him run the stairs. And Eddie Mustafa made the limit. He made 175, but he was very, very, very weak when he went in the fight against Michael Spinks. And it was a tough fight. You know, it's on YouTube. All can watch it. And Eddie Mustafa got dropped in the fight. And it looked like to me, after Michael knocked him down, it looked like it brought some life to him, because Michael struggled to make it the last 3 rounds, and Eddie was coming on. But Michael did win the fight. So that's just a story of weight loss. So I guess these guys know what they're playing with nature, you know. So I guess they're going to get started right now with EUBANK. They're going to get started with them now and try to take the weight off gradually. If they start now, when is the fight?
October.
Haven't even announced it. Have they announced it?
No,
October
it hasn't been announced. I don't think.
October 8th.
Well, if they start now, they can make it safely.
Really?
I'll be totally honest with you. I'll be totally honest with you about that fight. I think it's hype. I don't think it will ever happen.
Yeah,
I think it's a talking point.
I feel so early.
I think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. It's definitely.
I don't know. I just don't believe it.
Well, I mean,
No,
he can't get Connor BENN any fights, though.
You know,
he can't get these guys fights because he can't get Connor BENN a fight with a good heavyweight, a good welterweight, man, because he talks too much shit about everybody else.
I think they need that fight. I think that Eddie Earns, I think Matchroom, the Zone, I think they need that fight. They need exciting fights. You've seen what's happening now with the Sky, which a lot of the fighters now
have gone,
you know, and they're going.
I said it was going to happen.
They're going to Sky. They're going to Sky. Sky are paying the money. Sky are getting back. They thought, you know, by Eddie leaving, and Eddie was gonna, but it's not. You know what's happening now. So Eddie needs to put on shows. He needs to get the names. He's getting everybody who's a name to make a show. Because he you know, that Zone, they want names. They want names on there, and you know they're in deep trouble. I think in the sense of shows. See what I mean? Delivering and that, you know, the people who have got the money in you know, in that boxing game, they want to see names. They want to see, and I think Sky, they ain't got a rush at this moment. the guys are coming in and they're boxing. They're coming in and they're gonna start developing, you know, big shows with other companies in America and develop a good organization around that. So I think that, you know, Sky have been in this game so long, they just can't be beat. You know,
they made Eddie Hearn. Sky made Eddie Hearn. Sky
Absolutely.
made AJ. Sky done all of that.
Hey,
Sky
I got a question for you guys. I'm glad I got you guys this panel to ask this question to, because I thought about this last week and I was like, I can't wait. I'm gonna eventually get to you, Ingram. I was like, I knew I was gonna get on here with a live and ask this question.
Yep.
First, it's kind of a two-part question though. How do you guys feel? How excited are you guys for this Clarissa Shields Sarah Marshall fight with the Bumgarner Meyer co-main? How excited are y'all? And off of that, how sad is it that Eddie Hearn he's not a part of this fight at all? And he had Clarissa Shields and he completely messed that whole situation up. He could have been putting on, because this
fight, definitely
could very well be a turning point fight for women's boxing.
He should never be forgiven for what happened between Wilder and Joshua, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah,
that was the super fight that should have happened. That's the super fight that should have happened, and he got in the way of that.
You know how
big who got in the way? Eddie Hearn.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but what you know, maybe I'm talking out of line, but
y'all talking about making the weight right now. And I'm hungry, man. I want to get something to eat right now. I want a chicken breast, well done, with some hot sauce and some ketchup on it. Man, I'm you know, y'all got me on the thing, but I'm serious, man. I'm hungry. I've been doing, y'all laughing, but I've been doing 1 meal a day.
Why would you do that?
Because I want to lose weight.
He's still trying to make that weight. He's still trying to make that weight. Wait.
No, because I got you know why? Because I saw people in my family. I saw people with my friends. I saw how they were suffering from diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Liver problems, kidney problems, and I said I don't want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
So at 71 years old, I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying? At 71 years old, I'm saying I don't have to live like that. So I said I'm gonna start eating 1 meal a day right from the Ramadan. From Ramadan, I kept on going. I kept going.
Yep.
So in the morning time when I wake up for the Fajr prayer, which regularly now is about 4:10, you know, I take 10 grapes and I put them in. I eat my 10 grapes, and then I'll take a peach to start the metabolism. All right. Throughout the day, I go, and about 6 o'clock, no later than 6 o'clock, which is now, I'm on the phone talking with you guys. I go eat a meal. I don't gorge myself. I eat a meal. I haven't eaten red meat in 11 years.
Wow.
January make 12 years I haven't eaten red meat. All right. So now, after I eat this evening, I won't eat again till tomorrow morning when I eat those grapes and the peach. You know, just to start the metabolism. And I've taken off now 19 pounds. This morning I weighed myself. I was 224. So I'm on my way down, but I'm doing it the right way, you know, the moderate way. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm just going to take it off the right way. And I want to go to, my goal is to be at 200, 195. That's my goal. I can do it psychologically, but I'm only doing small intervals. You know, but right now I'm dreaming about. I want that chicken breast. I want a well done chicken breast. I want some broccoli, some spinach. Oh man, some cornbread. Yeah. I really do want it.
That is How to Eat to Live, right? I've read the book, How to Eat to Live. Guess who's in the house, people? Hello, Chad. Hey, champ, how you doing?
Wow.
Yeah, good. I just woke up.
You just woke up. Well, you get to wish me a happy birthday. Look at that. And you have
Happy
some
birthday.
wonderful people. You got some wonderful people in the room as well. Uncle Bashir there, Tony Cessay, Andy Gill, and you Coach Chris. Chap, how are you doing?
Happy birthday, man. I'm both. I just
Yes.
like I said, I just got back to Florida this morning. I left Vegas last night.
How are things?
Oh, I just got up. Caught me about
Just woke up.
Vegas recovering, yo.
yeah,
Are you?
that 3 hours don't seem like a lot, but it is a lot.
Let me do some introductions. Andy Gill, BERMANE Stiverne, Coach Chris, BERMANE Stiverne, Tony Cessay, BERMANE Stiverne, and you know who Uncle Bashir is already. So
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah,
Good to meet you.
I like I said, like a guy like BERMANE Stiverne. I'm saying this. I'm saying BERMANE Stiverne did never, in my mind, never showed up 100%.
we're talking about weight. We're
he
talking weight loss and correct weight loss. That's how the whole
but
conversation is.
I'm saying how it affects a human being. I don't think BERMANE Stiverne showed up in boxing. This is my opinion. Now he knows better than me, but I don't think that he showed up. You know, I mean, showed up, because if he had, if he had, I'm not into numbers. When a guy say, "Oh, the guy he's too old," I don't believe that. I don't think. What is somebody in the Bible? Who was that? Who's that in the Bible? Methuselah? Was can that somebody else? I guess was Methuselah in the Bible? Wasn't he the old guy, Methuselah? But I don't think that a person can be labeled because of their age. You take a look at Vladimir Klitschko right now. Right now, Vladimir Klitschko got 46, nearly approaching 47, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy looks a picture of health. So I don't think that BERMANE Stiverne, I don't think Mike Tyson, I don't think we ever saw the best of those guys. And a few others. I don't think we ever saw the best of them. I think that there's still life left into them. You know, if you dispense your youth correctly, you can have longevity over the 40s. You know, but if a person says, "Oh, I'm old," then as a man thinketh, then so is he.
So shall he be. What are your thoughts, BERMANE?
I do agree with Bashir. I do agree. You know, if we're talking about the second fight with Wilder, I think Bashir was there, and was it you know, I'm not going to start saying I woulda, shoulda, coulda, but was it a successful camp? It wasn't. I had better camp than that, way better camp than that, and you know, at this point you gotta live with what
You've
you
done.
gotta accept. You gotta accept and live with the bed you made, right? So you made the bed. So
It's interesting you say this because we were having this debate the other day about Wilder and Joshua. And if they had elite trainers in their corner, we could be looking at two totally different fighters. Your thoughts?
I agree. You know, it's
You know, Emmanuel Stewart told me, he said that when Tommy got on the scale, the box Ray Leonard, and they said 140, I think it was 145 and 3/4 or 146, and it was something that Emmanuel didn't like. and it alarmed him. He said, "Goddamn!" He said he should not have been that way. He should have came in here at 147. He said, because if this fight goes long, now this is the wisdom of Emmanuel Stewart. He said, if this fight goes long, that inaccurate weight is going to cost him. I think Tommy weighed in at 146 and 145 3/4 or 146 1/4. Whatever it was, Emmanuel estimated that he should have came in at 147 because he said that would give him that much more energy going down the stretch. He said if this fight goes long, if it goes late, it could cause us problems. It could come back to bite us in the ass. And that's exactly what happened.
That height, that pound gonna hurt, man. That pound gonna hurt like shit.
Andy, I want to come back to you. I want to come back to you, Andy, because you were talking about something about Eddie, and then so can you come back to what you were saying?
I was just saying the AJ Wilder fight. This is only my personal opinion, and people will agree, people won't agree, but I'm not saying it to, to offend anybody. But me personally, I think AJ hasn't taken particular fights because he's been governed by Eddie Hearn, and he's a cash cow. He's Eddie Hearn's bank account, and I don't think he'll put Eddie. He would put him in with Wilder because there is a percentage that Wilder's going to beat him, and Eddie's not going to take the risk.
I agree with you there, but Eddie would have stuck him in the ring with Andy Ruiz instead of fighting Trevor Bryan. So
that was a mistake.
He thought he was going to walk through Ruiz.
Exactly.
He thought he was going to walk through him. Because Andy Ruiz is, Eddie Hearn's probably looked at him and thought,
You don't know boxing. That was a terrible mistake.
Yeah, it was a massive mistake.
That was a
What did he win the Golden Gloves twice?
Eddie
He
Hearn
won the Golden Gloves twice, didn't he? Andy Ruiz.
Eddie Hearn put Kell Brook in with Triple G. Boxing, that was crazy.
That guy
was crazy. Bro, we couldn't even get Clarissa Shields and Sarah Marshall, bro. Like, that's pretty trash. You couldn't get that fight.
Yeah.
That's pretty trash, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you're not good at your job,
so
homie.
good.
You're not good at your job. Like,
I think that's a good card. I think that's a good card. Clarissa
it's a great
Shields
card.
versus Marshall and Baumgartner versus the other girl. I think that's a good card. It's a real shot in the arm for women's boxing.
Gonna whoop that girl. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see
It's gonna be. You know what? Like I said, Clarissa Shields is the life of the party. You
got to put the hands. Can't wait. I can't wait to see her put the hands on that girl.
Let me go around one by one. Your thoughts on who you think wins the fight, Coach Andy. Let's go with you first. Your breakdown: who wins the fight?
I'm going to go against the grain.
Okay.
I think Marshall's going to. I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to. I think she's going to win the fight. Chris, she hasn't got. Her record doesn't prove that she has power. So she hasn't got stoppage power. Is she going to outpoint her? Possibly, yes. But I think Marshall's got. I think she's got the power to stop her, and that shot is going to land eventually.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, she's going to stop her. I guarantee it.
Tony, your thoughts?
Well, I hope she does. I hope Stiverne does.
She will,
do
Tony.
it.
She will.
But I hope she does do it. But I like Clarissa. I do like Clarissa, and she's strong. I've met her a few times, and she's a real warrior, and she wants to. I mean, Clarissa. Stiverne beat her in the Olympics. I think, was it the Olympics or?
Yeah, Olympics. Yeah.
Over 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
But so she wants to get her back. She's talking about that every minute. I beat you at that time, but that was amateur
10 years
pro,
ago.
two
That
different
was
things.
boxing, yeah.
Two different things.
Yeah.
So now let's see, and they've got the match now. So I would love to watch that. I can't wait for that fight.
Come
Who
on,
you
Chris.
going with? Who you going with? Who you backing?
I think Clarissa. I think Clarissa. You know.
Okay, Clarissa. Okay, Coach Chris, who you go? You're gonna go Clarissa. I can tell already.
Are y'all serious right now, bro? Did you see all those belts Shorty had at the press conference, dude?
It was shame that they changed hands though.
You up there with one young ass belt. Clarissa got belts. Are you serious? They were like, what was it? Like what was it? What like Clarissa was like what 18 and Savannah was like 22 when they fought in the amateurs. Nah, man. Clarissa gonna beat the hell out of her. Not even gonna be close. If I'm gonna tell you what, if they were 3-minute rounds, she'd stop her. And we'd see more stoppages in women's boxing if they have 3-minute rounds. I don't understand why they don't. But whatever. But
they should do. I think they should do.
Why not? You know what I'm saying?
Because they want equality. They want everything the same. So they should have it. They should have it.
Agree.
I'm telling you.
They would do better to shorten the rounds. They'd do better to shorten the amount of rounds and have 3-minute rounds, though. To me.
Okay.
You know.
BERMANE, what do you think? What's your thoughts on the fight?
Well, I think this one is unanimous. I think Clarissa gonna walk through her.
Wow! Walk through her. Wow!
Yeah.
Beat her ass, yo.
I've been around Clarissa. I think when she was training in Florida. She just got that. I don't
Animal
know.
In her.
Bashir knows. She got that.
Strength.
She got that Detroit mentality that you know. I don't know. There's something about her.
I think.
Go ahead.
In my opinion, you know, my first trainer, my best teacher, the best teacher I ever had was Frank Shirley. The first teacher I ever had.
Yeah, Shelley. Yeah, Frank Shelley. He was fantastic. He was good.
He said, let me tell you something. When you got a box and a punch in the ring, and he said, if that boxer ain't Ray Robinson or Muhammad Ali, he said, put your money on the punching. He said, because I don't care how many rounds that boxer winning, when that punching land, fight's over. I'm going with Marshall. All right?
Wow!
By the skin of a chinny chin chin. By the skin of a chinny chin chin.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna go with Marshall.
Yes, sir.
You know what?
Because I think
Yeah.
that Clarissa is a fine boxer. But most of the work that Clarissa does is like George Foreman, like Sonny Liston, like Mike Tyson. Most of the fights that they did was with their aura, with their mouth, not with the punches. I think if this girl can go in there and stand her ground and fight, if Marshall fights, Marshall wins that fight.
I was just gonna say that.
Let me.
A good boxer would always be a good fighter.
I'm still going with Clarissa, but the only thing is with Clarissa is she's overconfident.
Yeah.
You know, she's a
You
bad
have
girl.
to be. You have to be. You're a fighter. You have to be.
No, when you hit that motherfucker, look, if Marshall hit that motherfucker in her mouth, all right? I'm not, you know, look, hey, I tell guys all the time, it don't matter what nobody say at the podium. It don't say nothing about all the stuff you do in the media. What matters is when them lights come down and that bell ring, all right, that's what matters. And let me tell you something. You hit somebody in the mouth really hard in that first round and say, you felt that, right? It's more where that came from. Come on. If Marshall got an ounce of courage, if she got an ounce of it and said that I'm going to fight back. Because a lot of times Clarissa does a lot of mouth and all, gets in people's head, you know, with this aggressive attitude, and I'm mean, and I'm tough, and this and that. She can fight. I respect that. She can fight.
Yeah, it's a good boxer. Very good boxer.
A lot of her wins is coming because she's getting in people's heads. If people stand their ground and say, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice. I'm gonna roll the dice. You know,
I'm
gonna roll the dice.
I'm concerned about Marshall.
Amateurs.
I'm concerned about her mental state, and I'll say this. I know that Peter Fury has done a lot of work with Savannah Marshall to build her confidence and gain her confidence. I just wonder when the punches start flying and Marshall gets backed up, whether all that stuff that Peter's taught her is going to go out of the window or she's going to be able to hold on to it.
Man,
that's my concern.
That's what I just said.
She's a full-grown woman now.
If she can't hold on to that,
girl,
if she can't hold on to that, then Marshall's gonna bully her if she doesn't have that up here. Because she hasn't. Because wait. Marshall, look at the people Marshall's fought. Look at the opposition Marshall's fought, and then look at the opposition that Carissa's fought. Two totally different opposition. Honestly speaking.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
There's like night and day between the opposition.
Yeah.
And the punching power that Marshall has shown has been against who? Really? Who?
How many KOs does Marshall have?
Against who?
No. How many KOs does he have?
I mean, I could have 100 KOs if I go into the juniors.
How many KOs does Marshall have? How many KOs does Marshall have?
It don't matter because who she fought. It's the level she's been up against.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
She's slow as hell. Uncle Bashir, she's slow as hell, Marshall.
I'll just say this, right? I didn't box, right? I was a football player. I played American football, right? And I played against people when I was in high school, 16, 17 years old. I graduated high school. I was 18 the summer of my first year in college. I turned 18 over the summer, and then I went to college as a freshman. I was 17, 16, right? Some of them same people, right? If I were to play against them as a 24, 25-year-old when I was playing professional football, would have been hurting people, bro. Like, when you compete against someone as a kid versus when you're a whole adult, it don't matter what sport it's in. It's completely different. I'm sure there were people that might have pushed Shaq around when he was 16, 17 years old playing basketball.
But now,
some of the older guys, you know what I mean? It happens in college basketball. Some guys are seniors and you're a freshman, they push you around a little bit. But like, fast forward when everybody's 25, 27 years old, it's a whole different fucking ball game. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I'm saying? Completely different. They don't even, you see them, they don't even look the same to you. It's like, damn, you small as hell now.
Well, if Marshall allows,
I don't think it's gonna be close.
Clarissa to beat her. If she allows that, if she allows Clarissa to beat her, and that's Marshall's fault. Because she has the guns, she has the tools to win the fight. But if she goes in there and freezes up, Clarissa's gonna whoop that ass. Okay?
I don't think she.
But I think if Marshall fights, if she stands her ground and say, you know what, I'm gonna fight. If she says I'm gonna fight, she'll win.
I think y'all need to put a little bit more respect on the sister's name here, yo. Since that loss to Savannah Marshall, she done won 2 Olympic gold medals. She's undisputed in 2 weight classes. You know what I'm saying? She's fought. Who was the girl she fought that dropped in the first round? She still came back.
What?
Wait.
Like, Clarissa Shields is the G of women's boxing right now, and y'all acting like she's just like this regular.
Not at all. She's world class. She's world class.
Joe, she's currently, right now, undisputed in 2 weight classes, yo. 2.
But that doesn't mean she's unbeatable. That doesn't mean she's unbeatable.
That's
so what if you've got all the belts and you've done this, that, and the other? That does not mean you're unbeatable.
All right, let me drop this question to you all. If Marshall beats Clarissa Shields, does she become the greatest woman of all time?
Well, no, you can't.
No.
Wait. You've just beaten the greatest woman of all time. That's
one night.
Just knocked her up.
That's one night. Yeah. You can't take her career. It doesn't work like that. You can't just take it over like,
look, if you look at things for what it is.
Yeah.
Layla Ali, Christy Martin,
Yeah.
and what's the other girl that Layla was with
I see the name there. I see
Forget
her now.
Ann Wolf.
Ann Wolf, yeah.
Ann Wolf.
Oh,
Ann Wolf.
that's a bad woman.
These boxers now aren't the same caliber as those guys that they were.
Hey,
Layla,
don't forget.
Ann Wolf,
Don't forget.
Ann Wolf, and
Lucia
Christy
Riker.
Martin.
Uncle Bashir. Lucia
Lucia
Riker.
Riker.
That's my girl. Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I remember her.
These boxers today, these women boxers today, aren't in the same league as those guys. They're not in the same league.
You know what?
They're not in the same league. They're not in the same league.
I mean,
You
look.
can't there's no comparison.
Even
If you
if
look at
Sarah Marshall
Lucia Riker, look, Christy Martin,
Hey.
Lucia Riker.
Even if Sarah Marshall loses, she's still a good boxer. And then you got what's her name? What's the girl at Hearn got? The one with the Serrano fight, kind of questionable fight.
Katie Taylor.
You got
Katie
Sissoko.
Taylor.
You got
Lucky
Plum
Charms.
Gardner. You got Shorty. You got Shorty with the hair. Cruz is earned. She's a good boxer. She just won a championship. There's some good women's boxers right now.
But not in comparison to those I just mentioned. Not comparison to those guys I just mentioned.
Wait, so are you saying Layla Ali, can Layla Ali beat Clarissa Shields?
Well, they're
I
much
think so.
different classes, but I don't know.
I think so. I think so. I think so. I think so. I think so.
Okay, I tell you what. I tell you what.
Too.
I'll put Ann Wolf in. You can have Clarissa Shields. I'll put Ann Wolf in.
Now, Ann Wolf versus Shields, that's a fight I'd pay pay-per-view to see.
Listen, Ann Wolf all day long.
That would be a really good fight.
Ann Wolf would hurt her. Ann Wolf would hurt her.
I know.
Very badly.
Bad. Hurt her bad.
I want good fights. I'm not in boxing, man. I don't even train no boxers, man. You know.
Uncle Bashir.
Look. If Clarissa had punching power, I wouldn't say nothing. But she don't have the guns. She's a good boxer, but she don't have the guns. In a fight with Ann Wolf, you need some guns. All right? Because she will floor you. She will crack your skull. All right? Layla Ali is a puncher and a boxer. She's a good boxer and she's a good puncher. All right? Clarissa just don't have those guns. That's the problem.
It's always that dichotomy. Her was supposed to walk through, Sugar Ray. It's always what's gonna happen.
And look. And for the most part, he was. And for the most part, he was. At the time of the stoppage, hers was ahead in that fight. At the time of the stoppage, hers was ahead. If it had been a 12-round fight like it is today, Hearns would have won the fight.
I misspoke. I meant Hagler Leonard. That's my fault.
Oh, we have to go Hagler, don't you?
Yeah. Hagler was supposed to walk through, and I was 7 years old, 8 years old that fight, and I can tell you, watching with my father, I'm watching the fight like he's gonna lose his fight, and he was like, "No, he's not. No, I was like, he's gonna lose his fight." He was like, why? Because he keep letting them get off them quick little things at the end of every round to steal it. I was 7 years old, knew that was happening.
What I say, Ray just out.
Who is this guy? What?
Mark.
Savannah is going to beat the brakes off Shields.
Well, that's
how
it makes it seem.
He said it right. He said it right. Savannah's going to beat the brakes off of Shields.
Brakes off of her? No. Look, she's been dropped before, and she came back and won the fight. So obviously, if she couldn't punch hard enough to keep people off of her, she'd have lost already.
Has Marshall fought anybody that's been capable of hurting her in her career so far?
We don't know if she got a chin. Does anybody really
that's
get her?
The question. That's the question I'm asking. Because Shields may not punch hard. She might not punch that hard, Uncle. But if Savannah's got no chin, it's not going to matter, is it?
And she's going to be anxious. She's going to be nervous as a catfish and a fish fry in that fight, trying to fight Clarissa Shields, yo. She'll be nervous as shit in that ring. She better be. She be smart. She looked real nervous. Like she's been delaying this fight
Look,
this whole
look.
time.
I think if Clarissa Shields had guns, if she could punch, if
And
she
Clarissa
could punch,
fought her 2
I would
years
be
ago.
more. I would be listen. I would be more apt to say Shields is going to win the fight.
I don't
But
know.
because she don't have no guns.
I've
That's not
seen
going to change.
No,
I've seen Stiverne up close. I watched her sparring. I'm not going to say who. I've seen her sparring men. And that woman, she can punch. She can punch.
And she can take us in sparring.
No, I'm saying.
Take shots.
they
She
both
seems
smart.
Look,
she's
punch,
got sturdy.
look. Punch where it counts it under those lights. I don't care about what many box. How many knockouts she got?
I'm going with
How many knockouts she got? She got 2 knockouts.
Marshall.
No.
I think 2 or
women's
6.
boxing.
She'll
If she was
fit,
fighting 3-round fights, if she was first of all, she's fought
If.
much better competition.
That's true.
Much better competition. She's fought way better competition. And you know what? A lot of these fights, and I'm serious with this
All right,
now.
look. I got. Hey, guys, I gotta go. I'll see y'all guys later. I gotta go.
He's got to go and eat.
All right.
He's got to go and eat. That's what it is. That nice big burger. You're gonna go and eat that burger now.
Look, y'all mess my food time now.
That means he's gonna go and eat that burger. That's what he's gonna say. That's what he's trying to say.
I gotta go.
Look, Bermane.
Yes, sir.
Go after me.
Where you at? Turn the lights on, man. Why you in the dark?
Because I just woke
He's
up.
doing something you should be doing.
I just woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You're sitting in the dark and stuff like some kind of monster. So what are you doing, man?
You can see my teeth.
Look.
You can see my teeth.
Bermane, are you still boxing?
Oh yeah.
I
Or that's
am.
it?
I am.
You straight
You are?
up?
You
I
are?
am.
You-
Wait.
Hey,
I heard a rumor.
You straight
You're
coach?
fighting some.
Huh?
I said, do you need a strength coach?
Do I need one?
Yeah,
He's
man.
a good coach. Very good coach. Recommended.
Hey, man. Especially for because them little guys, they gotta lose weight and all that. I'll do weight loss and all that type of stuff. So like for heavyweights, you know what I mean? Try and get quicker, stronger, really take your condition and strength and explosiveness to the next level, bro.
He's
know
a
what I mean?
heavyweight himself. Big dude.
Yeah, I'm an ex-professional player, but more so than that, I'm a full, I'm a high-end performance specialist. I'm a CSCS, I'm a weightlifting coach, TRX coach. I do therapy, table work, fascial tissue treatment, order food, the whole shebang and bang, bro.
Fantastic.
I'll put in the private chat. You check out my website.
Yeah.
I will.
Do that stuff.
Definitely.
Do that stuff.
I will.
Bermane, when you gonna fight again? I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly in. I'll fly in. I'll spend a couple of days down there. I just want to see. Come on, man. What you doing?
No. I believe.
What are you doing? Pressure.
It's on August 22nd.
Oh, we got it.
Wow, it's right around the corner.
Wow. Okay. Wait. Against who?
It's not your business.
That means the guy he's fighting is a decent guy. That's what it must mean. If it's not my business, he's a decent guy. I heard a rumor. I heard that I didn't hear who the guy was, but somebody told me, gave me the guy's name who you were fighting, and they told me this about a month and a half ago. They said to me, "Oh yeah, did you know Bermane's fighting at some time?" So what you're saying and what I'm hearing is coming together quite nicely.
Who that?
That's none of your business.
I'll take that.
We'll talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. It'd be good to catch up.
Okay.
Okay. Uncle Bashir going?
I heard Joseph Parker and Otto Wallen go fight.
What?
Who?
Joseph Parker and Otto Wallen.
Joseph Parker deserves to get beat just for that.
I got Wallen beat
against who? Against who?
Wallen.
Otto Wallen.
Who's that?
Yeah, he is.
Otto.
Otto.
He deserves to get his ass beat just for that. Joseph Parker, because he should have gone and fought Joe Joyce. What are you fighting Otto Walling for? For what?
Boxing.
Hey, before you go,
But
can you ask?
Ergovic is one, and Joe Joyce, they can't get those fights that they need. So they need to fight each other. They need to fight each other.
I heard Wilder's fighting Hellenius. Ruiz is fighting
You know he's fighting
Ortiz.
Yeah.
And Chisora is saying he wanted to fight Wilder. Most craziest thing in the world I've heard. And Eddie would put him in that fight. Eddie would put him in that fight.
Yeah, but that's madness.
Absolute madness.
I mean,
Because Wilder would hurt him. Wilder would hurt him bad.
Hey, but if the bag is right, but what kind of bag are we talking? Because you know, like you can maybe market Chisora in America. You get the videos of him throwing chairs, get him to come over here, act crazy. They mess around, put it on paper, a lot of money, man. I can't be mad, you know.
Shelly Finkel said, "Hell no."
He said no.
He said he just got past Pulev. Hell no, we don't want that fight.
I mean, for his point of view, I couldn't speak from Wilder's point of view, but I mean, for him, obviously, you know, he's a boxer, man. If he's not scared, why should I be?
Bro, I don't want to see that fight.
He made it out of the fight, okay?
What?
With Pulev. It's not like he got hurt or anything too crazy, man.
Yeah, he got hurt by Pulev. Pulev rocked him, but Pulev was too scared to throw any more punches.
It's hard to tell somebody not to make no money, though, Ingram. It's a lot of money. He could make like $5-6 million in that fight, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there. But I'm just saying, man.
He's got to get out that ring alive. I don't like that fight for him. No.
Wilder's just lost twice now. What do you know what I'm saying?
Derek
I understand what England. Look. It's one thing when you go to the dark room and don't come out.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying, man. Like,
no, bro. That is
money. I think Wilder will seriously damage Chisora.
Yeah, he
was it's dangerous to fight anybody, though. Any of the guys.
There's difference between fighting at boxing's dangerous, but there's difference between that and
I'm about out. Look, everybody, listen. Good night, man. I got to
Take
go.
care, Uncle.
Hey, enjoy your life, man.
Listen,
brother. Look. I'm taking a.
By the way, Uncle, before you go,
go to Boston Market and get that chicken meal.
Oh man, ain't no Boston Market stuff.
Good luck.
Oh, I ain't going to Boston Market. No. I'm going home. I'm going home.
Lies. McDevils. You're going to McDevils, and now you're going to McDevils.
Man, I don't eat that nonsense. Look, I told you I'm on a wholly different thing, man. All right.
Okay.
I don't lie. My wife got some stuff upstairs, man. Got some good tilapia. With some, she made a homemade pesto, pasta. I done gave up cheese all week too. It was hard.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, y'all. I see y'all, man.
Uncle, just for you,
man. Listen, man. Y'all guys. Oh, look, Coach. Wake up, hey man. You sleeping well over there?
Serenko said. Serenko wished me happy birthday. By the way, just thought I'd let you know, Coach.
Yeah. That's my man. Serenko is a busybody nowadays.
I can imagine.
Look, I got Eddie Chambers getting ready to come back, man.
Oh no. Really?
Yeah. Edward Chambers is on the way back. All right.
If you can get Edward Chambers out the house, good luck to you on that one.
Yeah, Eddie's gonna come back. He's gonna fight.
Come back and do what?
Well, he's gonna fight at Bridgeway.
To do and fight who?
Oh yeah, that's real.
He's gonna come back and fight Bridgeway. Right now, Eddie's walking around like 214.
The last time he came and lost weight and fought down in another weight division, what happened to him? It didn't end well, did it?
No. What do you mean? He fought what?
Yeah, that guy
he fought Washington in his last fight.
And moved down in weight, didn't he?
No, Washington was at heavyweight.
No, he fought before he fought Washington.
He fought Tabisu Machuno.
Exactly, and he moved down in weight for that fight, didn't he? To go back to cruiserweight.
Yeah, but that's his own fault. He was sleepwalking in that fight. He could have did better. I'm
And
not
he was
saying that he could. I'm not saying he could have beaten the Juno.
And he was
But I'm saying
sleepwalking.
he could have.
He was sleepwalking in the Washington fight as well.
Yeah, well, he's getting ready to make a comeback.
Come back where?
Huh?
Come back
I'm
where?
gonna straight.
Come back where?
Good night, man. Good night.
No. You're not me, Uncle. We're not having that conversation. Eddie Chambers, 2 fights. He's gone now. See? His uncle knows what it's about. Right. Let's talk business. Okay. Topic. Deontay Wilder's comeback against Robert Helenius. Coach Andy, your thoughts on this?
Ain't one I really thought about, to be honest with you. But what Wilder's proved himself. All right, he's not the greatest boxer, but he's got unbelievable knockout power. And boxing's all about you can be the best skilled boxer, but you get caught with one punch. And he's proved it with everybody, hasn't he?
Yep.
Everybody's who's been put in front of him. So yeah, I think he'll do the business.
Coach Tony?
Yes, definitely. Deontay Wilder, he needs to come back with a bang. I think, he'll do that to this. Let's see, we'll do it. I think he's, he wants to prove a point to people that he wants to still stay in there with the money. And, he's got a point to prove. So I think, I think he'll really do well with this one. This fight will be good for him.
Okay, Chris?
Yeah, man, now that, with Fury gone, he's that awkward freak heavyweight. So
yeah, Fury ain't really gone though, is he?
No, he'll come back.
You know what?
Money, he'll be back. half a billion.
All for free.
I really don't know. I'm just interested to see him in this fight. I want to see what he looks like after those fights.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that Dillian White wasn't gonna. We all knew Dillian White wasn't gonna really press Fury enough, and Fury's so much bigger than him. He wasn't gonna press Fury enough to really give us a gauge on to see how the Wilder fights affected him. Because Fury, White's balance isn't good enough. You know what I mean? His footwork isn't good enough to get in there close enough to hurt him. But those guys beat the brakes off each other, and who I was riding with, the whole time. But fact remains, they put a hand on each other many a times, man. Like that third fight, that's about as brutal as it gets with the multiple knockdowns. And I could see both of them being a bit different, looking at things, it's just boxing, man. Just big dudes, man. Yeah, Wilder wins the fight. We just want to see. I want to see what that cardio looked like because his cardio is trash. His last 2 fights versus Fury, and for me as a strength guy, man, it's just like I'm wondering what the hell happened. I'm always like, you got to be in shape. You know what I mean? Like that's the first thing. Before you start talking about skill and all that kind of stuff, man, you got to be in shape. You got to be in shape for what you're gonna have to do. You know what I mean? If you're playing basketball, you're playing football, whatever it is, man, you got to be in shape, yo. And for him to go out there and be tired after 1.5 rounds, he's gonna have to get that fixed no matter who he fights. And that spelled doom against Fury for me. And Fury's cardio was a lot better. So we'll just have to see what happens. But I think Wilder wins that fight.
Helenius is 6'7", like Wilder, so he's back in there with a big man.
Yeah, but Fury is bigger, man. It's weird, man. Look, when was the last time Wilder fought somebody bigger than him? Probably never fought anybody bigger than him, really.
Yeah, but I'm concerned. Helenius got
Fury's a matchup nightmare, like he is. So,
but Helenius is dangerous. He's got a nice jab on him. He's slightly herky-jerky himself, Helenius, the way he throws that jab. And that right hand, he's got a good right hand I'm going to get as well, Helenius. Yes, Wilder should do the job based on Wilder that we know. But that Helenius, he's a good boxer.
And Helenius is taking his shots. He's lost fights too. So
he has. So
you know what I mean? So
he's gonna have no fear.
This will be a good fight for both of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And most importantly, it'll be a good. because if Hellenius wins the fight, now all of a sudden he's in the WBC mix. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Fight for Wilder. And it's a shame because, you know, both AJ and him have lost twice, and that's still a big ass fight.
Yeah.
That's still a big fight. You know what I'm saying? So like with, you know, boxing, you know what I mean? Like, are we gonna actually get the fight? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
As a fan, man, just here watching, staying tuned, bro. Because I mean, we want to see these fights. I still don't understand how Crawford Spence hasn't been announced. Like, what's the holdup? Been waiting for this fight for like 3 years now. Let's go.
Money and money and money.
There's so much money, man. If they don't just split that thing up, man, and go and get it, man, that's like 3 fights between the 3 of them. You had a rematch in 154, yo.
We'll see. Let's talk.
A lot of good fights there too.
Let's talk. Usyk Joshua 2. Let's talk with you first, Tony. Usyk Joshua 2. Your thoughts?
Say that again.
Usyk Joshua 2, the rematch.
Oh yeah, I mean, Joshua, you know, he's got this new regime of people coming to help him, and Garcia. I know Garcia. I met Garcia a few times, you know, and I like Garcia. He's a different kind of trainer. You know, he's aggressive. He was an aggressive man himself, you know, aggressive boxer himself. So I think that's what Joshua needs. So Joshua needs that, where he's got so much power within himself. He needs to use that, and I think he's so stronger than Usyk. Usyk is such a good boxer. You know, he moves his feet well. He flicks his shots, and then, you know, he catches people when they're gone, you know, when they're out of, you know, context. But I think that if Joshua can do something and use more of that power, I think he could do something. But the same thing will happen again if he doesn't change the mentality of how he needs to go in there. I mean, I think you know, it's a different kind of, you know, ball game. If he tries to box a boxer who's won the Olympics and won world championships, and, you know, it's just you know, madness. You know, to see what he was doing, trying to outbox a good boxer like Usyk, was pointless. It was silly. So I hope they've changed him, and I hope they've got something in him, some spice where he's gonna go and hurt somebody, because he can. Joshua's got a punch. He's got the hardest punch there out of 2 of them. It's just using it. That's what he needs to do. He needs to really, and I think, you know, Garcia is the man to put it all together. You know, if he does it, the plan, if it works, you know, I've seen Garcia train, and the way he trains his fighters and the way he mentally gets them prepared, you know. And I think that's what he needs. He done the right thing, you know, of getting, you know, Garcia. And I think, you know, it could be a good fight, this one. But there again, if he doesn't go and control that area and that middle and be the boss, be the, you know, he wants to be the lion. He wants to be, you know, control. He wants to be the king of the castle, control that middle. And if he can do that, I think, you know, it could be another outcome, a different outcome. But if he doesn't, then it'll be the same outcome, where Usyk will just control the fight by boxing and, you know, and doing whatever he wants, because he's such a good boxer, such a good mover. And, you know, he's he's good at the way, you know, you can educate within himself how to fight, how to box. It's fantastic.
Okay, Tony. Andy?
Yeah, I agree with Tony. And I think he's made the right move by getting Garcia. From my personal view, I think AJ has got to take his footwork away, and he's got to be aggressive. AJ can't sit back too much waiting to counter punch and do stuff like that. He's got to trap his feet, and he's got to take the fight to him. He's got to be a lot more aggressive. Aggressive, and you know, use that power that he has. You know, he can throw a lovely uppercut. He's got a good jab on him. He's got a good backhand on him. But he just needs to, you know, take the footwork away and stop Usyk from, you know, pulling all the little tricks he does.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's a
right.
boxing man's fight, then if AJ does something similar or tries to box him, it's not going to happen.
It's finished. Okay. All right. BERMANE, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
So your thoughts on the fight?
Oof. This is this one I don't think I'm gonna have to go with well, put it this way. Who I put my money on is not who
I want to win.
Yeah. You know, I do want Joshua to prevail and win the fight, but I'm not sure about him doing it again. That's why I always had some kind of issue with guys that were lighter or more faster and more athletic. So I'm not sure that that's a tough one. But I'm gonna go with USYK.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think USYK is got little tricks here and there. The fact that he's a southpaw as well, a smaller guy. I still think that Joshua is a little too muscular, too stiff. Yeah, I'm going with USYK.
Okay. Thanks, BERMANE. Coach Chris?
Yeah, I kind of feel a little similar. I was thinking it in my head, right? You know, like my heart is with AJ, and my heart says AJ by stoppage, but my brain is like, Usyk's gonna stop him. Okay. That's what my mind's telling me. My mind's telling me Usyk's gonna stop him. You know what I mean? In that last fight, he outboxed him pillar to post for real. And I think if he'd have pushed the gas in the last round, he could have got the stoppage.
Yeah,
if he'd really gone for it, you know. AJ has changed trainers, and I do respect Robert Garcia. You know, I respect him as a boxer, and I respect him as a trainer. He's definitely a good trainer. I just don't know. It's hard to go with what you don't know. And all we have is the last fight, and Usyk whipped his ass. So I'm going to have to kind of go with Usyk, though, even though I'd prefer AJ to win. I think that'd be better for the division, but we'll just see. I mean, I don't know. You know, we'll see. But I think Usyk by stoppage. I think he stops him.
I'm going to go with
I hear
well.
AJ's lost a lot of weight. I hear he's come down quite a bit of weight.
That's not going to help him. Not going to help him. Not going to help him. I think Usyk's going to get onto the front foot against AJ.
I'm showing you my Robert Garcia signature when I met him. I still got it here.
That's not going to help AJ.
He's such a fantastic guy.
That's not going to help AJ. I'm sorry. That's not going to help AJ, Tony. Sorry.
Maybe if you put some lead in there and something.
It's not going to help AJ. I'm sorry. I think Usyk's going to get onto the front foot. He's going to surprise people. He'll get onto the front foot. AJ can only box one way. If he decides to come out that Mexican style, he's going to get his ass taken out even quicker. Because
the other thing with Usyk, sorry to cut you in, but he's been in a war-torn country. Yeah. He's seen a lot of horrible things.
But guess what? That works both ways.
Yeah,
that works
both
ways.
But I think he's going to make him stronger.
He's going to make him mentally stronger.
Yeah, I think he'll make him stronger.
Could be distracting though.
Yeah, it could be.
No,
but I personally think it's going to make him very strong.
I think.
Listen, if AJ plays his A game and he uses that power and aggression, it don't matter what you think and how you think. You take that on the chin. That's it. It's all over. He's got that much power if he uses the right techniques with someone like Robert Garcia. I believe in Robert Garcia because I've seen the man train. I've seen him box.
Can I ask you one question?
Go on.
Have you seen him train a heavyweight? No matter what he's done at middleweight and lightweight.
I haven't because I haven't. But I mean, that's what is so exciting about this fight because
you
to
should have
see
got
what
Bashir.
he says.
Yeah, you should have Bashir.
Yeah, well, you know that, but two of them. He trained both.
The thing with power's only good when something's standing still. When something's moving, power's a total waste of time.
You gotta know how to train bigger.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Hey, you gotta know how to train. I can tell you right now, man, as a lineman, right? I played ball. I played at like 305 pounds or so, right? You gotta know how to train big athletes, man. Like big guys. I think, you know what I mean? Like I said, I got a lot of respect for Robert Garcia, but I don't know, man. Like, you got to train guys over 220 different. You know what I mean? Like, it takes different things to get them in shape. And some big guys have different struggles with cardio. You know what I mean? I struggle with cardio. Like,
even with strength. Some big guys struggle with strength.
Big guys. Yeah, that's true. That's very true, too. I know, like, with me, and a couple of guys that I train, like they're big and strong as like a lot of guys, especially brothers, right? Be big, be strong as an ox, but have trouble getting into cardiovascular shape.
Yeah.
Don't like to do the long distance running, man. You gotta have different approaches. And sometimes managers, especially now, you got these trainers, man, they've been doing it for a long time. They're not really hip to like science,
No.
And like there is a lot of like when we talk about losing weight, you don't have to starve yourself to make weight anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of different techniques as far as like, you don't have to go in the sauna and get a bike and put it in the sauna, man. You can get the hot towels in the room, in the bed, under the cup. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of different things, man, scientifically with your nutrition. You got to be up on that kind of thing. Feel me?
So do you think that the substance that these guys, the boxers taking, it ruins them? Because that's what I feel, that some of these boxers, they take rubbish and it messes up the whole system in their body because they can't do more than 100%. They do 4 or 5 rounds, they're blowing. They're blowing.
Do you know? No disrespect to you, Chris, and I'm just giving an opinion. I think the onus on strength and conditioning within boxing is kind of taking over boxing. I think too many people focus so much on it. And you look back in the olden days,
the strength and conditioner was the coach.
For real. For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, man, but I'm telling you, some of these guys.
I'm not saying it doesn't work, Chris.
It works to a limit.
It works, but there has to be the right percentage. And I find most boxers now. But for me, if you're a boxer, do boxing 80%. Everything else comes to the 20%.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but a lot of boxers now, they think it's like a 50-50 thing, or 60% strength and conditioning and 40% boxing, and that's going to make him a good boxer.
You know what it is right, and it's always about right. What's right for you might not be right for me. What's right for him might not be right for you.
Yeah, no, totally agree.
You have to find out what works for yourself. Some people might be playing to what comes easy to them, right? Like maybe weights is easy. I mean, boxing training is ridiculously hard, right? So maybe they're trying to get out of the boxing training. They want to focus on strength and conditioning. Want to like do ladder drills and lift weights and all that kind of stuff. When in all honesty, it should, you want the strength and conditioning to work in concert with the training.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you're not doing a lot of boxing training because you can't grind yourself into the ground. There are days where you do a lot of rounds of sparring. On those days, those are the days you train. It's got to be an in concert kind of thing. It's just like anything in coaching, man. Like, it's got to be a good system. It's got to be a good chemistry mix in house.
And it has to be boxing specific. I see a lot of strength and conditioning coaches. Not yet again, Chris. I'm not pointing the finger at you. They're doing stuff that doesn't even relate to boxing.
You gotta train. You gotta train for your sport. Like,
yep, for real. 100.
If you're a boxer and you're with a strength coach or a trainer, and they got you training like you play strong safety in the NFL, right? Because that's the thing now, right? Are you hiring somebody that's really going to give you the result, or are you hiring somebody because that's the guy you just want to train with, right?
Yeah.
You could be working with somebody to say, like, got you lifting with like football players, right? Or like, because you got like, like I seen Dillian White, like he was like deadlifting, right? It's like, why the hell is he deadlifting? There's no reason in the universe for his ass to be deadlifting ever. And like, but it depends on the coach, right? Like if that coach does that's what they're gonna have you do. You know what I mean? Do you have a coach that can create something for you that's gonna work in concert with your training? That's the question you got to ask. I know Devin Haney. He still makes 135 somehow. He's a pretty big kid, and so he's got to have a real good plan going. So it's all about the whole thing: nutrition, training.
I watched Huey Fury in terms of strength and conditioner. I saw Peter Fury. He's doing the training. He's doing all the boxing skill work, and then he's got his strength and conditioning trainer. But they work together. They don't work apart. And so the strength and conditioning training is working alongside the boxing. So the movements that Huey's moving, for example, are in cahoots with what the strength and conditioning training is doing. It's not one strength and conditioner working over here and the trainer's working over there. I've seen some gyms where they send the strength and conditioning. They send the trainer goes, right, you got strength and conditioning today. Go off to strength and conditioning trainer. And then the trainer doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And they come back and all do boxing training. How does that work?
Look,
it should be an hour, bro. That's it. An hour at a time. It's got to be
Andy,
fast and non-stop the entire time, yo.
Yeah,
Andy,
it's. I know Tony, all right, and I know what Tony's about, and I've seen Tony do bits and pieces with his boxers, and he's produced some good boxers. All right, he does the work, old school. He does not mess around. He don't take no shit. It's you do it my way or the highway. Yeah. Now I've got people who work with me, and I've got a couple of people who don't work with me. Yeah. But the people that do work with me, like Jamie Smith is going for a Southern area next Saturday. It's his 7th pro fight. Yeah, number 7. He's got him going for the Southern area. Lewis, my 59 kilo lad, is fighting for a Southern area on the 19th of November. It's his 7th pro fight. Yeah, they do all their work with me. Their pad work, their strength and conditioning, their circuits, their runs are governed by me. Their diet is done through me and a dietitian that I have total control over. Their weights are taken every single day. They don't go over 3 kilos of weight ever. They start camp 3 kilos over their weight category. And within that 8 to 12 weeks, they're down in weight safely. We don't wear sweatsuits. We don't go into saunas. We don't do any stupid dieting. And that's the way all my pros are run. You know, but I know the old school way of doing things, it works. And I'm not saying that what Chris does doesn't work. But I think Chris has got
it's a good thing.
Everybody is an individual.
Like
and he will work the plan to the individual.
I think there's room for what Chris does. That it really is. I mean, I've seen it. I believe in it. When I was boxing for England, we used to go to our national place was Crystal Palace, and the person who used to give us strength and condition was the Olympian, famous Olympian who would give everybody Fatima Whitbread, everybody who came, all the athletes who came and done, strength and condition was in Crystal Palace. So we did it with him. So, and he used to tell me, and he made me know and feel that that was important, so important by getting that strength and conditioning. And it did. It made me a lot stronger. It made me last longer, in my years of boxing. So I believe in it. But what I believe is that you definitely have to work together, because you've got a lot of these strength and conditioners and coaches who work apart, because what happens, some of these strength and conditioning coaches try to take over. They try to be coaches. So they're strength and conditioning, then they try and be coaches. So they've taken the kid. So you've got a lot of kids out there boxing with strength and conditioning coaches. Do you understand? Meaning they're coaches now. They've obviously never boxed, but they're all of a sudden they've got themselves a boxing board of control, trainer's license and the coach. And I don't. This is what I'm scared of. These guys that go down that line and that route,
they're going to get hurt.
They end up damaged.
They're going to get hurt. That's what's going to happen to them.
Where they go, they end up don't know their names. They end up don't know where they live because and there's a lot of these guys out there, which we have to be careful of, and we got to protect our boxers.
They're not boxing. They just lifting weights, but they don't box for real. They just
So a guy like yourself, not you personally, a strength and conditioning coach will come into the camp. And then basically say, come and work with me. I can do that for you. I can give you some boxing training, plus strength conditioning. Cut your price down. Just work with me. I'll do it for you after price. And that's where the trouble starts.
That's where it all starts. And most of these guys who do this, these guys, they don't make it. Most of them don't make it. Even when the kid is talented enough to make it. So you only get one or two of them kids with that talent. Takes there's a lot of people. If I was to tell you, if we know as coaches who them guys are who have done that, they're out there.
And for real, man.
Through talent, these coaches have made it.
I gotta tell you the honest truth, fellas. I don't have that kind of time to be acting like I can box train too. That's crazy.
Yeah. But
I had one of my lads.
I've been watching boxing my entire life. I love boxing. I would never try to act like a boxing trainer. But that's what you got. This is what you got now. Because it's so much money involved now. Guys are switching over. They're going into this sport. That's anything where there's money involved. I think that's a switch.
In America, it's different. In America, everybody wants a sports position coach now. It's like I want to get a hitting coach that's going to make me a great baseball player. It's
your biggest challenge is that boxing trainers, particularly those who are accountable for their fighters, their concern is if you're coming as a strength and conditioning trainer, they're asking themselves, can I trust you? Are we going to work together, or are you going to come along and try and take one of our fighters?
Well, I tell you this, like for me, I train enough football and soccer and baseball players. It'll happen when it happens, like more than likely, I'm in the DMV area, right? I'm in like the Washington, D.C., Baltimore metro area. There's a lot of boxing out here, apparently, as you all know, right? Tank Davis is from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. The Russell families from D.C., Peterson's from D.C. At some point, I work with 12 and up, basically, right? And I have my nonprofit. I'm going to come across a young boxer from like Oxon Hill, Maryland, or from Baltimore. Someone's going to bring him to me. I'm going to work with him. And I'm going to probably take, if he trains with me, especially if I start with him in like 14, 12, 14, and working through high school, as they become an adult, he'll have such an advantage becoming an adult when he's an amateur. He's gonna go to the top, and that's just gonna happen.
My advice.
I am very, and I hate to it sounds like I'm bragging, and I really try to preface this but it's just really true, man. Like
you're not bragging, Chris. You're confident in what you do.
It's
a difference.
Chris.
It's a lot of experience. And, I was making workout programs for college athletes when I was in college. You know what I mean? So, I've been doing this a long time. Compared to these strength coaches nowadays, I'm a dinosaur. Because, I remember the old bigger, faster, stronger days. I remember the days before, functional training and TRX and, single leg, this and that, and blah, 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 and everybody, wanting to be on Instagram. I remember when weightlifting was in Gold's Gym and World Gym and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I've seen it all. I've seen a lot of it.
And if I haven't seen it, I've read about it. You know what I mean? I've been around it, you know, and I've been around a lot of athletes. So it's gonna happen when it happens, man. You know,
Wouldn't it be, Chris? Wouldn't it
it'll
be
be great when it
beneficial?
does, though.
Would it be beneficial for you to work alongside or have a boxing trainer that you could trust, who's had some experience and some good experience in pro boxing, so that when you do find fighters, they can do the boxing training and you could do the strength and conditioning
I tried to
as a
do
partnership.
that. I was trying to do that. But you know, what I mean, he wasn't trying to work with me. He wanted me to be like, to work for him. And I'm like, you know, yeah, man, and like, you know, like seriously, like was on some, like, you know, he's a good guy, but you know, it didn't work out, right? And it's just, you know, the situation's got to be a good fit, you know.
Was that the boxer or the coach?
It wasn't a boxer at all. It was a coach.
Okay.
And like, hey, he's a good guy. He's cool. He's cool. We're good. It didn't work. It didn't work for me, and that's fine. It's got to be a good situation for everybody. Everybody's got to be comfortable.
Yeah, it has to be some unity
But
there.
man,
and for me, it's very important to be my, you know, me like, you know, pay my company. You know, I'm not.
Yes.
Man, you know.
Let me ask you this question: strength and conditioning in your career, how effective has it been, and has it made a difference in your career as a heavyweight champion?
I will tell you this. My best days, my strength and conditioning was the old school way. And run the marathon. When I ran, I was running a lot. I was doing a bit of, you know, other things, but the main thing was running.
Yeah.
Like we ran and non-stop raining.
Are you talking about running? Are you talking about on the road or treadmill running?
No, on the road.
Road. Definitely road if it's old school.
Yeah.
So what? Boxers don't do that no more?
I'm talking about.
No, they don't. Most of them.
Talking about,
not a lot of them.
They're
in the gym.
Yeah, because they don't like the rain or the cold.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like mountains and like I'm talking about like hills, mountains, and everything.
I've seen you do it, champ. I've seen you do it.
Air altitude.
Yeah. And the strength and conditioning, it is for me, but to a certain point. You know.
Okay.
I feel like when we decided to go that route and with less running, now that I look at it, you know, it was not the best thing for me. I'm not saying it's not good for anybody else.
Hey, Berman, champ.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, champ? Like, let me ask you this. So, because I'm telling, like, I haven't trained any professional boxers at all. So I'm curious about this. So when you said that you were doing the old school running like road work, was it the fact that were you not supplementing it with another type of cardio? Was it the running itself, or was it the fact that you kind of missed that whole piece? Like for example, instead of like getting up and running, get up and like, you know, like let's say you would try to run 3 miles in 18 minutes or whatever, 5 miles. Because you know, for me personally, I think you got to put yourself on some kind of clock when you run. That's
Yes, but there's all sorts of different runs.
You can do that as well, but you know, like I said,
were you putting in like the time on the bike or something like so? Maybe like instead of running 3 miles, you'd bike 12.
I know what you're saying, but there's one thing about boxing. Boxing is a sport of its own,
right?
You know, we did the clock. I mean, when I said I was running, I was running just to, you know.
There's all different kinds of runs. There were power runs.
Yeah.
There were power runs where you probably had boots and then you know and things like that, and you had weights in your hands and they put
You know,
everything in together with that.
you know what's so funny? It's because around that time, we ran like weekly. We ran at least about, I would say, altogether, 20 to 30 miles a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then on top
That's
of that,
old school. Yes.
on top of running, what I was doing there, at first I thought it was a joke. I didn't really believe in it till I did it. Numerous times. Was walking.
Yeah.
Like
Power walk. Yes.
let's say
Power walking up
let's say
hills.
we had a let's say we had a our if he would say 2 miles, I know which one. If he would say 3 miles, I know which one. If it was 5 miles, I know which one. And then those run, we used to walk. We used to walk them. Let's just walk the run. And then after, I mean, when I was doing it, I thought it was like nonsense. Like walk, I need to sweat or whatever. But then come to find out that walking was just as much as effective as running.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Around that time when I was running a lot, and then we would sprint also.
Yes, the sprint is different again.
And to me, when I look back, I should have just continued what was working for me.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Your body is immune to that. Your body.
If it works, don't change it.
I got into the strength and condition. It was good as well, but I should have never minimized my miles outside. I should have just kept that going, you know.
Champ.
But for me, I'm talking about for me. That's
no. I'm saying, but you know, but one thing, champ, though. But one thing, champ, and I can't speak to a lot of heavyweights in boxing, but like the one thing is, you know, by lowering your workload running wise, you lowered your injury risk for, you know, like knee, ankle, Achilles injuries, because as you get older, you gotta modify how you train, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, 22, 23-year-old BERMANE and 32, 33-year-old BERMANE, they both, you know, might be professionals and they both got to get in shape. But 32-year-old isn't going to be able to train as effectively running 25 miles a week. I was
34, 35 when I was doing that.
Yeah, man, that's hard, man. That's hard on the body, you know.
But it was good. No, I know it was, but
there's so many different ways to skin a cat, man.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's really a factor of seeing what kind of athlete you have. And like, you know, I believe in running. You know what I mean? Because for me, every athlete should be fast. You look at the best. You look at the best boxers in the world right now. If you were to line them up in a race right now, take Fury out of it because Fury's freaking ogre. He's just different, right? So if you take the other than Fury, the best heavyweights, Deontay Wilder, I'd take him in a foot race over all of them. Right? The best lightweight, to me, that would win if he fought is Gervonta Tank Davis. I got him beating any of them in a foot race, man. That speed, that explosive power, that ability to change directions and power, the torque, to have that natural torque on your shot. That's a natural.
Okay.
You know
who's the better athlete, Crawford or Spence?
I think I like Crawford in that fight anyway. Crawford. I'd say Crawford is a better athlete. Yeah. I like Crawford in that fight though anyway. But I'd take Bud. Bud's a savage, man. You know, he's a wrestler too. He's strong.
He works at everything, doesn't he? He does everything.
His son's like a top wrestler. Like he's like 9. He's like the best 9-year-old wrestler in the world or in the country. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, you do have to run. I didn't know boxing didn't run anymore. That's crazy to me. So like, what I mean, like, because you're talking about 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds, 1 minute rest in between. So I mean, you got to at least be doing like interval runs, right? Something. You got to do something for 3 minutes at a time to get used to it.
Okay, look. I'm gonna give you when I started
all that running stuff. I remember it was a fight called. It was right before a fight with a fighter called Kurtz Manswell. That's when I started all the run. And then the first areola, all I did was run. Second areola, run. First Wilder, run. You know, all these fights, there was never really the big condition. It was the old school. It was run.
Yeah.
It was
But
it was a
you
couple.
did everything.
It was a couple. It was a couple exercises
all
with weights. It was a couple exercises with weight
The
and
pull-ups. Yeah.
you know, just like the Muhammad Ali train, but it was mostly running. Then after that, after the first Wilder, that's when I started to concentrate and do more of strength and condition, and then I would run less, you know. And you know, when I look back at it, you know, I just thought that that's what I needed, but I didn't really need it more than running. I should have just kept running and probably, you know,
I think that's
just
what your body was used to.
yeah. So, but me, when it comes to running works for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first areola, I think that was a 12-round fight, the 12-round fight, and all we did was running. And I never one time during that fight, I was close to E. My tank was full the entire fight.
You know,
The entire fight. I didn't feel weak. I didn't feel winded. I didn't feel nothing.
You know, another
And,
thing, and doesn't all it does. Champ, can you tell us about, like, you know, because you've got, you know, lots of pro fights, lots of big fights. Can you tell us about getting it right on fight night? Like what is the situation where it helps you put it all together? The training,
It's
the nutrition,
you know what
hydration.
you could
You know what I mean? All those kinds of things. Like, what are some of the challenges that you've seen yourself and maybe other boxers have to where you want to get everything right on fight night?
It's funny you say that because, again, for me, probably a couple other fighters, I would say, if your mental is not there, you can train all you want. It's not going to show fight night. I remember one particular fight. It was the first areola. Every time I sat down in my corner, to this day I can't tell you what my trainer told me, and I had something in my mind I wanted to do, and he was talking to me, but I was not listening to him intentionally. You know, I was just in my zone, and he was just talking, and throughout that fight, I was just talking to myself every round. You know, when I was the first areola, and I would sit down and never listen to nothing he say. You know, I would agree, whatever, but it's like I was
He wasn't taking it in.
yeah, I was gone. I was gone. Like
Yeah.
I was gone.
Yeah,
I knew he was talking
zoned
to me,
out.
but I knew he was talking to me. But what I wanted to do in that fight was stronger than me, and that's what I wanted to do because I believe that's what worked.
Yeah.
So, you know, that fight right there, it was mostly psychological. You know, it was really like my mind was helping me win that fight. I mean, obviously my preparation, yeah, but I believe that if my mind wasn't on point, I don't think I would. I'd probably won the fight, but probably not perform the way I did.
Yeah, one thing I say to all my fighters, no matter how fit, how skillful, get your food right and everything else, you can be 100%. If this isn't switched on, it's not happening.
Yeah, because
This is one tool that has to be switched in.
I tell you, I think it was the second round of the first areola fight.
Ariella hit me with a punch. I swear that punch just woke me up and had me like, okay, this is
this is serious.
Because sometimes you can be ready for a fight, you can be ready psychologically, you can be ready physically, and then when you get in there with that fighter, and you get hit, everything might go out the window. You never know.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can be confident, you can be a beast, you can be whatever you want to be, but when your opponent hits you at the right place at the right time,
Game changer. Yeah, game changer.
Yeah. That's like that. That's like if you're not looking at somebody throwing cold water on you, and you're not even aware of it. You just get up and like what the fuck,
It's true.
It's different.
It's true.
It's really different. Yep. It's really, really different.
Guys, it's we've been on 2 hours. I'm aware that it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning in England. So I want to thank you all so much for a wonderful birthday gift, having you all on the show together. I really appreciate having boxing experts and former world heavyweight champion in the house. And,
only for you, baby.
I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I really do appreciate it. And thank you all so much. It's great to be in a room with so much experience.
Shoot me a text, Ingram. Shoot me a text. I'll let you know the stuff.
Absolutely, as always. So thank you all so much.
I gotta run, guys.
You don't have my number. You don't have my number.
I know you guys. You changed, so I don't know.
I changed. You know what? You know who your opponent's gonna be in August.
No. You.
Me.
If you got the same number, it's in my WhatsApp. It's in my WhatsApp.
Listen,
it's in my WhatsApp.
Chris, I need you as my strength and conditioning trainer, right? Hey, Stiverne, me and you, August 22nd. Only one thing is, right? You can't throw any punches at me, but I can punch you, right?
Chris, you're on Instagram.
Yeah. Coach Chris Kwame on IG.
Okay.
All one word. Coach Chris
I'll tap it up.
With my like that at the beach.
All right. Sweet.
Thank you all so much.
All right. Happy birthday, champ.
Happy birthday, my man.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you all. God bless you all.
Just on closing, I have to ask the question. Yeah, you'll shoot me for it, but Jake Paul and
I don't even want to hear about that.
Hey, stop it, man.
Boxers.
Stop it. I ain't talking about that shit. That don't interest me at all.
Oh, my God.
Jake,
he's definitely he's had a birthday drink.
Yeah. He's had a birthday something.
I that's why you trains up so far.
You're not staying up for that fight over there in England. You're not staying up for that.
Yeah, all right, Chris. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Me and Tony ran to the pub.
All right, Ingram.
Guys, thank you all so much.
All right.
Appreciate you all. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you all so much, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you so much.